Projection. It typically is about taking things that you don't like about yourself in a specific situation and then tossing them at another person so you really don't have to deal with it. So a great example of this would be infidelity. A person is being unfaithful to their partner. Now, the guilt and the pleasure and the confrontation of the experience and how it could be brought into the relationship is kind of scary. So instead of dealing with that, the person who's actually being unfaithful, they'd rather, or unconsciously, they blame their spouse. What are you doing on the phone? Who are you talking to? What are you doing? Are you being unfaithful? What are these kind of things that you're doing over there? Do you see what I mean? Because they're actually doing it themselves, but unconsciously, they haven't taken the time to cut through the hurt and the feelings, the emotions about what's going on. So then they just toss them on the other person. The thing that's super interesting, when you're in a conversation and someone is projecting something onto you, there's two things that happen. One, if you're super confident in yourself or in being able to express your emotions and feelings, and you're, pretty sit in your integrity. When someone starts that, you can quickly squash it and say, hey, that's not mine. That's not my problem. We're not talking about that. We're talking about this specific topic. Let's stay on point. And whatever it is you're going through, you go ahead and take the time to process that, right? Or it could be a second scenario. You're with a person and you're projecting on you. Unless it's something that you're dealing with yourself, then it doesn't really affect you. You don't become angry or suspicious in some way. However, what you will be is uncomfortable. Like, what is going on here? Am I supposed to do something with this? Am I supposed to fix this? I don't really know what this means. I don't know what it's coming from. And we say all this in our mind and we don't really address it, right? Or it could be like, what is this about? Why are you feeling this? Why are you talking about this? And in that moment, the person who's projecting is actually having the other person solve their problem for them indirectly. Does that make sense? I know it's super confusing. And the thing is that a lot of us do this all the time, right? So projecting or projection is typically conflict driven. It's a conflict triggers. So if you have ever experienced in your current relationship where you're having the same type of argument or discussions that you've had in your previous relationship, or maybe the relationship before that, that is what we're going to be talking about today as we focus on projection. I just defined what it is. Where does it come from? How does it affect you in your relationships? And what can you do about it? Hi, my name is Vanessa, and I am a certified life coach. I live in Sweden. I am married. I have 4 children. Well, they're adults. So I've moved to a different country. Yes, I have had many life experiences, and I love taking all of that life experience plus my education and being able to help people be their best in relationships and really live the life the way they want to. So let's get into projection, right? So I could share a fantastic story with you, which I actually just went through not too long ago, when it comes to projection. So as many of you know, one of my children, my son, not my stepkids, but my son is actually severely autistic, and he lives in a group home. And I have been struggling with this, especially a lot lately. Fantastic place, great staff, amazing facility. He is so happy. And I have been projecting a lot on the staff because I keep going back to, he used to be able to do this. He used to be able to do that. When he was with me, we did this and this and this and this. Well, if I can do it and I can create this kind of environment for him at our house, you can too. Did you know that that is complementary projection. And what happens when we project on another person that way is that we're assuming that other people have the capabilities or perhaps the abilities to do things the way that we do. And maybe they don't, or they can't. So by projecting on them to do something that they're incapable of doing increases their anxiety and makes them become resentful towards you, to be quite honest. And it's just not a good way of being able to engage and interact with another person. So that's a behavior that I personally have had to correct when it comes to dealing with his amazing staff, right? So projection typically is conflict driven, right? It's a trigger. It's something that's happened in the past that you haven't really unpacked or processed yourself, and you are, again, tossing it onto another person. So it can come across in many ways. You could be having an argument with your partner, or it could be a colleague, and it comes across as being controlling or jealous in some way. It could be that you become angry and you kind of like, make yourself big and try to be like all puff and try to dominate the other person because you want to be like righteous and 100% right. This is another way of being projective. It could also be in kind of a sexual manner, which is not always the best, but these manifest in so many different ways. Okay, so neurotic projection is what I talked about from the very beginning, which is the most common one, when there's a feeling or emotion that we have not processed ourselves, and instead of dealing with it, what we actually do is put it on somebody else. And then the third one, the most common one, is called complementary. So in regards to politics, as we're going through, it could be you come into a conversation with your family and friends and you say something with the assumption that everybody in the room thinks the same way. So you're being like very complimentary, like, yeah, you know how it is. And that's also a manner of being projective. What is super interesting about this is that all of this can really be squashed. Martha Beck has this fantastic little sentence that makes you super aware of whenever you're going to do it. And it is, if you spot it, you got it. That means if there's something that is reflecting on another person that you see and it just irks you, or it just pulls out the wrong side of you, that is really something that has nothing to do with the other person, but it has everything with you as a human being having to unprocess that. So this is a great example of how do we stop this, right? So for example, I'll take me with the autism and my son and living in a group home. So the way I was able to process that emotion was like this. He lives in a group home, super well taken care of. There are still moments that I can't lie and tell you that I'm not working through it, but it is what it is. We're humans, it's part of our journey, it's a work in process. So what I find myself is when I come to visit him at his home, 25-year-old adult human being in his own home, I find myself going, oh, you know what, those portions are a little too big. Or, when I took care of him, or when he lived with me, my portions weren't that big because of this and this and this and this. Instead of doing that, what I will say is that that's an unhealthy portion. Can you go ahead and cut that back before you give it to him? Without adding anything about my own hurt and my own pains. Because what I recognized in this projection is that I myself was feeling some kind of way about somehow, because my son is blessed to live in a group home, that as a parent, I'm not really fulfilling my responsibilities of taking care of him. And I had like this story in my brain that somehow I'm a bad mother because I'm not taking care of him. When in reality, he is being taken care of so much better where he is as an adult human being with the freedoms to do as he wishes, just like his stepbrother and stepsister. So when I was able to look at it from that perspective and stop almost torturing myself for it It allowed me to stop projecting my anguish and my insecurity on his staff. Does that make sense? Well, this is a lot to unpack. But if you find yourself in your everyday life saying some snarky remark about another person, or if you're fighting with your partner and you're saying things that don't have anything to do with the topic, but you're hurt, and because you're hurt and it's triggering an emotion in you from when you were a child or from when you were an adult or even with a colleague at work, take 3 deep breaths. Step back for a second and say, why is this situation bothering me right now? What is this that I'm going through? What is the emotion and feeling that I'm going through? Where does it come from? And how can I open it up and really look at it and dissect it in different ways, figure out the lesson, discard the story that I've created around it, and really move on with your life? Projection. I hope this made so much sense because it's such a big topic, and I took a really broad scope with it. Every Thursday, I come out with a new video, and it's here on this channel. If you have any questions or you want to learn about some new topic or something that I don't discuss or have not discussed as of yet, write it in the comments below. Ask questions. This platform is all about empowering ourselves to be able to do better and be better as human beings. And part of that is asking those hard questions, not only to ourselves, but also sometimes to the people we love around us. Remember, when we value ourselves, we value each other. Take care.